Hey swarmers! Welcome back to the Hive. We are midway through 2020 and we hope you're hanging in there with us. It's pretty safe to say this year has been a lot so far. A few weeks back, we talked about the Sustainable Development Goals and justice in light of the Black Lives Matter protests taking place around the world. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. While the news cycles have moved on, the fight is still ongoing. Today, we're talking about equality. To recap, in 2015, world leaders agreed to 17 global goals, officially known as the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. These goals aim to create a better world by 2030 by ending poverty, fighting inequality, and addressing the urgency of climate change. Guided by these goals, it is now up to all of us, governments, businesses, civil society, and the general public, to work together to build a better future for everyone. To that end, we have Sustainable Development Goal number 10, Reduced Inequalities. To reduce inequalities, policies should be universal in principle, paying attention to the needs of disadvantaged and marginalized populations. Inequality does not just refer to that between men and women. Inequality also refers to economic inequality, inequality in access to health and education services, inequality in access to information, inequalities based on race, age, disability, sexual orientation, class, ethnicity, and religion. Inequality is currently demonstrated as the world's most vulnerable populations are those hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Inequality is a multifaceted hurdle that needs to be overcome to ensure a life of dignity for all. The targets for this SDG include achieving and sustaining income growth of the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average, empowering and promoting the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, irrespective of age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, origin, religion, economic, or other status. Ensuring equal opportunity and reducing inequalities of outcome, including by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, and promoting appropriate legislation, policies, and action in this regard. Adopting policies, especially fiscal, wage, and social protection policies, and progressively achieving greater equality. Improving the regulation and monitoring of global financial markets and institutions, and strengthening the implementation of such regulations. Ensuring enhanced representation and voice for developing countries in decision-making in global international economic and financial institutions in order to deliver more effective, credible, accountable, and legitimate institutions. Facilitating orderly, safe, regular, and responsible migration and mobility of people, including implementing planned and well-managed migration policies. So, how can you take action? Participate in your community. Do your research and vote for leaders who believe in a sustainable world and who are willing to fight for it alongside you. Your vote matters. Push for policymakers to prioritize the SDGs. Social media is an incredibly powerful tool to call for social change and to start the big discussions. But make sure you always read before you hit that share button and have all the facts before you drop a comment. Develop a vision for the world you want to live in. A world where we all live freely, equitably, and sustainably. And then start small. Volunteer in your community. Children need mentors. Soup kitchens need donations and volunteers. Parks, beaches, and green spaces need cleanup. Encourage young people to stay in school and empower the women and girls in your own life to believe in themselves and to strive for their dreams. Head over to globalgoals.org/action for more info on projects, organizations, and actions taking place around the world. Knowledge is power. And with it, we can work toward achieving the SDGs together. Thank you for joining us, swarmers. We will see you next time.